So this is the most common mistake that people make with research papers, and I wish I would have known this before I did my career, and I've learned a lot over the years in terms of how to write these things properly. I'm a associate professor of innovation and strategy, and I want to give back as much as I possibly can. So I'm on editorial boards and things like that for different journals. So this is a really simple trick. It has nothing to do with citations, has nothing to do, a lot of people think that, this novice mistake that people make when they go into science and doing research papers and things like that is they think that they have to cite a whole bunch of stuff. That's absolutely not true. You need to cite strategically and be thoughtful with how you're citing things. But the key mistake, this is what everybody does, there is only two things that you're talking about in the entire research paper. The first thing is that dependent variable that you might have talked about, or people have, mentioned. This is the thing that you're actually interested in, the outcome variable, the thing that actually matters in the investigation. So for us, it's often like firm performance. Maybe for you, it's human performance. Maybe it is the amount of bacteria that grows or something along those lines. And you talk a lot about that in terms of what we know about that particular phenomenon and how it actually works. And then the second thing that you talk about is the new variable that you're introducing that people have not investigated before. So this is your independent variable. And it might be, anything under the moon that you might sort of think about, right? Like the thing that is new and novel, but you don't talk about that until you actually talked about your dependent variable. And then after you're like, oh, we don't know this thing. This is a big mystery. And then you talk about that independent variable that we are investigating. Now, sometimes there is a variant on this, and it's a really simple variant that we already know that this relationship exists, and it's well sort of understood that this leads to this, or this is correlated with this. And in that case, what you're looking for is a third variable that changes that relationship. And that's it. Like that third variable is the thing that you're actually interested in. And that's an entire research paper right there. I think a lot of people sort of get this mixed up, that you think that you need to have all of these details and stuff. And when you go to write it, you'll be really overwhelmed, right? And generally, how it works is that you're just talking about this dependent variable. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't want to get into in this video, but that is the really important essence of what you're talking about, is what is actually going on with that dependent variable. It's always focused on that. And then you get into the independent variable that you would never, that people have not investigated, right? And so the overarching theory that you might use in the paper is always about that dependent variable, the thing that you're interested in. And then everything else is about, after that, is that sort of surprising thing that nobody has done. And that is the sort of essence of every research paper. Once you see that, you're like, oh, this becomes really clear. Now, there are some research papers that don't follow that basic format, but most do. I would say 99% of the research papers out there actually do. And it's going to be really, really helpful for you in terms of understanding how science actually works. So it's always talking about that dependent variable, that thing that you're trying to explain, and then the thing that is unknown, and we're trying to link that relationship together. And so you have those two things, and the entire paper is talking about how those two things are actually related and trying to find some sort of discovery about how those two things are related. Super critical, important. That's an entire research paper. If you do that, things will become very clear and you'll be able to write a stellar research paper. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.